get in a depressed state for multiple reasons. Like I said before, like heartbreak. Like that's why I was depressed. And early in life, I was depressed, just feeling isolated and feeling alone. But heartbreak is the depression that hurts the most because you're always wondering and thinking about somebody that you really care about, somebody that you really love, somebody that you really want to talk to, and the fact that you can't talk to them, you can't see what's going on in their life, and like you just always thinking about it and you just can't move on. Like it just takes time to break through that. Like it's hard, it's real hard. Like that can destroy you for real. That's how people get suicidal thoughts and just feel like ending it because love is so strong that some people kill themselves just because they can't be with another person because they in love with them. Because it's so powerful.
What he said was cute. Pretty much what he's saying is don't give out your self-love and not get it back. Because you're asking to lose. Every time you give out your self-love and you don't get it back, whether you get it back or not, it's up to you. But if you're relying on somebody to approve whether you get it back, or you're relying on somebody for your belief of whether you got it back or not, you're never going to get it back because they know the power that they have. You gave them power that they don't have to return. You gave them literally your strongest life force you have. The strongest life force you have, you gave it to them. Even thinking about somebody, that's the strongest life force you have, and you gave it to them. So when you don't get it back, it's not necessarily that you didn't take it back, it's that they had to give it back to you. So no matter how much you wanted it, no matter how much you wanted to improve on yourself, you gotta go through yourself to get there. So before you start talking to them, or before you make a commitment to them to give them your love, which you should be giving everything and everybody your love anyway. That's the whole point of being on earth, is being connected to your heart. All you gotta do is rearrange the letters. But since you give them your love, they know what that is. So they like, oh, I'm finna run with it now. Because they could have helped you, they could have gave it back to you, but that might not be part of their intentions. That might not be part of your intentions, but you could be so lost or so infatuated, or you could feel it so hard, and it might not even be your idea. Like, just being in a room with the wrong person for too long will give you too many wrong ideas. People think sometimes I be trying to be selfish or have an ego or say like I'm better than somebody or I'm belittling somebody because I don't want to be around them, because I don't want to be in their presence, because I don't want them talking in front of my face, because I don't want to hear what they got to say, because I don't want to hear their advice on life. It's not the fact that none of that is true, because all of it is true, but to a small percentage. The main reason I don't want to be in your presence is because you don't want to be in your own presence. If you don't enjoy yourself consistently, I'm not going to enjoy being around you. So if I feel like the greatest thing that we could do together is entertain somebody else or entertain something else, I'm ultimately losing. And not only out on myself, but I'm losing out on life. I got friends who's worried about going homeless. I got myself and my family members who worry about going homeless. I got a certain idea and a certain perception and interconnection with myself to make sure I don't be back at the position that I was a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Because once you got self-love, nothing can stop you, nothing can bring you back down. But if you're inviting demons in, and it don't even have to be you, it could be somebody letting it in on your aura field. It could be somebody trying to unplug you from your aura field so they can find holes in your aura field. Because you thought you was feeling something holy because you felt the angel, but the whole time that's a demon because that was a fallen angel. But if you don't know that, you're struck out. That's why you gotta have moral beliefs. You need to have a moral compass so you know where you're going, how you get there. You need to have that light inside of you so you can navigate through darkness. Because if you're a person of the dark, or even if you're a person of the light, it doesn't matter when it's spiritual. It doesn't matter. The universe is full of black holes and darkness. If you see a light, it's going to be extremely small. You're barely going to be able to see it. You're going to have to learn how to navigate through that. We're talking about astral travel. We're talking about star traveling, because all of them is just made of water. But if you're not pure, you can't leave. You can't travel with the waters. You can't be one with the universe, because you're too stuck on what's going on around you. Pretty much, that means you got attached to the earth's attachments. That's all it means. You're the ultimate loser. You got attached to the earth's attachments. How that work? You hear me or you listening? How that work? How you gonna get attached to something God made for you? And you didn't even get attached to yourself. How are you not attached to yourself? Go love yourself is all I got to say. Find out what love is. I believe everybody knows what love is, but some people really never felt it before. Cause a lot of y'all wasn't meant to feel it at all, to be honest with you. But go find out what love is, and then put all of that love that you've ever felt or thought about into yourself. All of it. Don't leave none out. Don't leave no self-love out. Put it all into yourself. And keep the waters pure. So once you go to change your diet, or once you go to do something of righteousness, you will have a clear mind. But if you can't even stop eating what you've been eating, you will never be able to have a clear mind. You will never be able to not rely. You'll never be able to not rely on somebody else. Yeah. You always feel like you're unreliable. Because the truth is, you are to a certain extent, because you're living so much out of instinct. You're living on such a survivalistic state. It's easy for you to die. You have no connection to God. You have no connection to your higher self. You probably want to die already. You probably already been depressed and suicidal consistently. That's why I'm here. So if you do anything wrong, I know it wasn't on me, but I'm here to help you. I'm here to keep you from ever thinking about that or ever wanting that. So what you should be worried about is getting yourself in tune with the universe. What you should be worried about is moving your family out of their predicament. What you should be worried about is getting the people you love out the predicament they in. What you should be worried about is getting your children and your parents together. Teaching your parents some morals. Teaching your kids some morals. Making sure you're not just out having sex with people. Like, one night stands are not cool. Let me say this again. One night stands are not cool. I know y'all been taught that one night stands are cool. I know y'all been taught that sexual activity is cool. I know y'all been taught to go against the grain, just because everything on the grain is not supposed to be there. Everybody who quote unquote following God don't really follow God. That's why they struggle so hard. It's them punishers inside of them. If somebody can't control their thoughts, they being punished. You can't control your lifestyle, you being punished. That's part of your karmic debt. If you can't change that, it's part of your karmic debt. You could break out of that, but it's gonna be so hard. You have to devote your whole life to it. That's why people they try so hard. Like people who actually care about God, they're fasting consistently. They're changing their lifestyles consistently. They're getting connected with the waters consistently. They're getting connected with the earth consistently. The air that they breathe, they value it. It's precious to them. Every single breath that they take is precious to them. So because the breath is life force energy. You can't breathe, you're gonna die instantly. You're gonna die. Your brain's not gonna be able to keep up. Your body and your blood vessels are gonna keep trying to pump air into your blood, because the oxygen is already there. But it's a small amount. And for you to be awake and conscious and know what's going on in your body, you gotta have oxygen. No oxygen, you can't think. The air gotta get to the brain, airhead. Yeah, you airhead. The air gotta get to the brain, airhead. How you gonna think when your mind polluted? Cause there was a point in time where I could barely control my thoughts. And I'm still at that point, but it's easy now because I changed my diet. It's easy now because I changed my environment. It's easy now because I don't do the stuff that I used to do. I don't hang around the people I used to hang around. I don't make the decisions that I used to make. So for me to be in this predicament right now, life is just unfolding in front of me. All I gotta do is stick my hand out because me and God are on teams. God been trying to hand me stuff my whole life. All I had to do is put my hand out. But if I'm not paying attention, I can't see that. If I'm not paying attention, I can't know that. How am I supposed to know God got his hand out reaching back for me and everything I could have ever possibly wanted? And I'm not even connected with my connection. Your body and your temple is your connection, but you disconnected. You so busy plugged in and tuned in everywhere else. You jamming the radio, you watching TV. Do you know how many frequencies that is? You're tuning in, literally. And they're putting you on a lower frequency, literally. So the fact that you're not connected with your connector is just to show that you have self-love. It just means that you lack self-love. It just goes to show that you're missing out on self-love, because that is your ultimate connection. But if you don't know that, you can't get anywhere, because you're busy worried about what's going on around you. But everybody else around you is spiritual. It just don't look like it. It just don't look like it. Just because they soul not in their body don't mean they spiritual, because they still getting punished for the stuff that they did and for the stuff that they doing. So you can't look at somebody who look like a zombie or who move like a zombie and expect them to just be a normal human being. Like, that's not how life works. Aliens are real. Bigfoot is real. Draconians are real. Like, you're playing with your whole livelihood because you worry about attachments. Attachments aren't going to get you anywhere at all. Nothing on this world can evolutionize you more than you can evolve yourself. How are you supposed to evolve the world if you can't even evolve yourself? How are you supposed to evolve your consciousness when you're not conscious? How are you supposed to change your thought process when you can't control your thought process? Like, you're on Mission Impossible, believing it's possible. And the only thing is impossible is the impossible. But as soon as you allow yourself to believe the impossible, you realize how much stuff is not possible. So the only way to make that possible is to believe that there is no impossible, because that's facts. You have to fill yourself up with divine energy, godly energy. You have to fill yourself up with godly love. So anything somebody could throw at you, it don't matter. You're throwing it back tenfold, or you're not touching it. It don't matter what you throw at me. It come to my feet. I'm not touching it. You hear me or you listening? I said you hear me or you listening. It don't matter what you throw at me. It's gonna fall to my feet. It's gonna fall to my toes. And I could choose whether I want to step into it. I could choose whether I want to step around it. I could choose whether I want to stomp on it. It's not mine. It never was. It never was. So anything you think about me, anything you ever sent to me, anything you ever thrown at me, any thought you've ever projected into your own head, it probably came to my head. So stop thinking negative thoughts. But first, you got to get in tune with yourself so you know the difference between negative and positive. Because it's all a balance anyways. But it's all falling to my feet. Say something else, it's going to fall to my feet. Ask me a question, it's probably going to fall to my... Unless it holds value. If it holds value, then it get raised up with me. I'm taking that with me. I like that. Build me up. I like that. I appreciate that. That's from the heart. That's not fakeable. You can't fake energy. I don't understand what people mean when they say, oh, that's fake energy. That's fake. You can't fake energy. If somebody say they love you and they don't love you, That's not true. They probably do love you. But if you don't know what love is, how are you supposed to say yes or no? If you never felt love, how are you supposed to say yes or no? If you never loved yourself, how are you supposed to say yes or no? How are they able to see something in you that you don't see in yourself and you value that more than you value yourself? You're living backwards, booty backwards. You're living all kinds of backwards. Not only should you value yourself, you should value the people around you. And if the people around you don't value yourselves, that's even more reason why you should value them. But the thing is, you have to care. Yeah, you have to care. You have to say consistently, the taste of this meal is not worth more than the life of this animal. Because really, that's not even food. You want me to be honest with you? That's not even food. That's not humane. That's not healthy. The Garden of Eden is the Garden of Eden. Everything you eat wants to stay alive and evolve like you do. It wants to stay alive and evolve. And if it dies, it wants to be one with the earth and with the waters. Free the waters is a law of my eye. Free all the waters is a law of my eye. So you telling me you want to be alive so bad, and not only are you willing to kill, but you're willing to consume something that's already dead. Not only that, you're willing to pay for it after you've already worked your job. So your whole mission for the day was to eat something dead. And you telling me you live. How that work? How that work? I would ask you where they do that at, but they do it everywhere. So that's why I'm here right now. We got a problem. We got a problem. You wanna consume something that you shouldn't be consuming. We have a problem. I don't find that okay. I don't find that acceptable. It's literally cancerous. Like, if it wasn't no lives on the line and if it wasn't cancerous, I really wouldn't care. But I got family members who died from cancer. Like, I have aunts and aunties who caught cancer consistently and not know why. I got cousins who got different kinds of breast cancer and tumors, and they can't pinpoint why they have them. They can't pinpoint where they got them from. They can't pinpoint why they having trouble controlling their thoughts. They can't pinpoint why they having trouble loving themselves. So I not only feel bad, but I feel what they going through because I'm an empath. So it's all love and emotion with me. So you telling me you got hungry today and now you got a tumor. How that work? How that work? You notice every time I got a question, I ask how that work. Because once you find out how stuff work, you'll know how to work. But since you don't know how nothing else work, you don't know how your own self work, you're not gonna ever know how anything works. If you can't dissect yourself, you're not gonna be able to dissect the universe. It starts with you. Facts. It starts with you. Can't connect to the universe, you don't know who you are. You're delusional.